The RNLI Shannon class all-weather lifeboat is one of the most advanced in the world. Along with its launch and recovery system, it takes a lot to keep this kit maintained and ready to save lives at sea. For 14 years, Colin Jones has been volunteering at RNLI. Now he takes on his latest challenge, to pass out as an all-weather lifeboat mechanic.
Hi, I'm Colin Jones and I've been a volunteer crew member here for the last 14 years at Rhyl, RNLI. I came here as a non-seafarer from a non-RNLI and non-maritime background, and over the past 14 years I've developed my skills to not only be a crew member but also a helm for the inshore lifeboat and a navigator for the all-weather lifeboats. I've just been doing for the past 12 months my training to become a mechanic on board the all-weather lifeboat, and that's involved a lot of training here at the boathouse in Rhyl, and also going down to Poole to do 2 courses. One was an approved engine course, which was a week long working on engines, on different types of diesel engines, and also a DC electrics course. The mechanic's role really encompasses looking after and maintaining all the equipment and making sure that everything is ready to go to sea. Tonight I am doing my pass out. I've done lots of assessments with a assessor trainer, Simon Bunting, over the last 12 months. And tonight is the kind of final step, hopefully, in that kind of journey. So today will be lots of drills, lots of fault finding, and going through everything mechanically and electric on the boat, and if there's any problems, fixing it, and working in conjunction with the coxswain and the crew about the getting ready to go to sea. So it should be interesting. Looking forward to it. Slightly nervous, but I'll let you know how I get on later.
For Colin's pass-out, RNLI Fleet Staff Engineer Cahill Nolan is visiting the station to put Colin through his paces.
So I'm at Rhyl Lifeboat Station today to carry out an assessment for a mechanic's pass-out. So the candidate has been on a mechanic's development plan for the past year, 18 months, where he's been learning about the electronic systems, electrical systems and mechanical systems on board the Shannon. And we're going to do an exercise assessment today where we're going to go afloat and we're going to see can the candidate perform routine tasks and maybe some emergency procedures also.
Even before putting to sea, Colin must demonstrate his ability to find and diagnose a number of faults that could occur on the lifeboat that might prevent it from launching on a service call. These faults are purposely put on the boat by Cahill for Colin to find and rectify.
Start nailing things down, start eliminating things. So any theory you might have of what's working and what's not working, start eliminating those bits.
It's everything from the engine back, isn't it? Which is what it says. It says it's a connection. It's not saying it's a power issue. It says it's a connection issue.
So you're right. It is power. It is electrical. Yeah.
Other bits of the part.
So
parts of the boat working.
So think of your electric feed to the engine. What does the engine need electrically? So just have a think about that. Take your time, there's no panic, we've another 10 or 15 minutes. So just think about the engine electrical circuitry and what an engine needs to start or run, so have a think about that.
Nav 1 had gone, the client for that. Then also on the distribution board, the engine room fan wasn't working. And then there was no connection or no power going to the start-stop of the engine. So all the readouts were in blue. So we weren't getting any readings, so that's why we put the emergency throttle, the emergency displays on. But yeah, it was quite hard to you're trying to think that there's one thing that encompasses everything, but it wasn't. It was like lots of different faults that you're trying to piece in your head together. Is it one big fault or is it 5 or 6 different ones? So yeah, got there in the end though.
With Colin fixing all the faults, the crew begin to kit up ready to launch. Cahill, who runs the exercise, briefs all the other crew, like the lifeboat navigator, on what he would like them to do for the pass-out. The lifeboat, now ready to launch, heads down the beach. Right from the start, Cahill keeps Colin on his toes by testing his knowledge on different mechanical questions, such as what happens if contaminated fuel gets into the fuel tanks.
So if we had dirty fuel in one tank, does that mean on one engine? Just say
Sorry, not one engine, one fuel tank.
Well, can we do that? Right. How do we do that then?
So,
Do you know how to do it? Just
yes.
show me.
Yeah, we can do it now.
Yeah.
Happy for us to go down to the below pumps?
Yes. Do you want us to slow down? No, we're fine.
Okay.
Once the fuel issues have been dealt with, the crew are tasked with setting up the fire hydrant system on the deck. Colin, as mechanic, must prepare the Belgian pump ready for the fire hydrant to get its water. This can usually be done through the boat's computer system, but this time Colin must demonstrate how to do it manually from the engine room.
Moving over manually, so ready to go when you are. Is it all open, is it? Happy for me to engage?
The fire hydrant isn't used to fight fires, but for protecting the crew and lifeboat if they need to go alongside a casualty vessel that is on fire.
So what's max RPM on the general service pump, do you know?
Stop a bit. Happy to...
That's it, yeah. Let's go.
Just as the crew think they have a moment to settle, Cahill signals for the fire alarm to be set off in the boat's fuel tank compartment. With no fixed firefighting equipment in this particular compartment, it's up to the mechanic to fight the fire. Fire at sea can be one of the most deadly things to happen to a crew.
What kind of fire are we looking for? Big. Are you part of the crew here, Cahill, or are you on board with us? Or can you pass me the fire extinguisher from the back, the CO2, please? Yes, please, the black one. Fire extinguisher has been put into the tank space.
Right.
How
Is that
it? I did the whole thing. What's the fire doing now?
You sprayed it?
Yeah, the whole lot.
It's still burning.
Okay, can you pass me the other fire extinguisher, the CO2 one with the black label? Just on that bolt, that's it there.
Is it a big fire?
It is a big fire, yes. Thanks very much. Whole thing's gone in. What's happening now to the fire?
Still ablaze.
It's still ablaze.
Why do you think it might be still ablaze?
We're not done the fuel.
So what would you think of doing
Turn the fuel off.
before that?
Turn the engines on.
Colin has forgotten a major step in fighting the fire. The fuel feed to the engines needs to be shut off.
Can we turn the engines off, please?
You want to turn the engines off?
The engines must be shut down beforehand.
Is everybody out the engine room? Yes, we want to.
And then, do you want me to pull them?
Yeah.
Cahill decides to run a hot debrief on the rest of the fire procedures.
The CO2 in there, and we've turned off the fuel. We've given ourselves the best chance of quenching that fire.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't start back up because it can't go in there and turn the fuel back on.
Yeah.
So the choice is either buy ourselves that half hour or abandon.
Just when Colin and the crew think the exercise has finished, Cahill throws one more problem at them. The starboard jet controls have stopped working, leaving the lifeboat only able to manoeuvre on one jet. Colin must head to the jet space at the back of the boat to manually adjust the starboard jet to get the boat back home. Assessment exercise completed, the boat is recovered and taken back to the station. Cahill has a debrief with Colin to let him know how he's done.
So just done my pass out for my mechanics assessment. Unfortunately I didn't get it tonight. We did about 4 or 5 hours of intensive procedures, going through all the emergency procedures, going through all the mechanical stuff on the boat for the engines, the electronics. And it was really intensive, to be fair. It was quite hard going, and just missed a couple of little points that I should have really known what I was doing. So I'm going to do some extra training and come back in a couple of months' time and have another reassessment at it.
It's been 2 months since Colin's last assessment, and Cahill is back at Rhyl to run through another full pass out with Colin.
So we've got a fire in the engine room.
This time, the fire drill is for a blaze in the lifeboat's engine room.
Okay, 5 flaps closed, mate.
Okay, double check, engine room fans off, fuel's done, flaps are done.
Yep.
Head count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Happy for me to do the fixed primary?
Yep.
Okay, so arm in.
We've given a mayday of our position, yep.
Yeah. Okay, firing them off.
Yep.
Okay, so we fired them now.
Good stuff. So what would you do after you fired them?
So check the CCTV in case we can see flats.
That's still burnt out, yeah.
So it's still gone, right, so it's going down below to double check.
Yep, just make sure obviously down there we check for smoke.
So that's still on. If you just want to reset whatever you
I'm going to do fuel first and then work
yes,
our way
please,
back.
Yeah.
and I'm happy with that.
Well, after another pass out, I'm happy to say I've successfully passed out as a deputy mechanic for the Shannon class lifeboat, which I'm absolutely ecstatic about. It was a really another tough pass out, lots of drills. We did fire drills, we did a lot of emergency procedures, we did a lot of stuff with the Sims on board system, which does all the computers on board. So it was quite another thorough pass out, but absolutely ecstatic to pass out. So on to the next journey.